go over Kate Wehr's perfect Olympic weightlifting session. So one of the biggest things that I believe that you've got to have when you're trying to build into that perfect 6-for-6 session is that you've got to be able to handle stress. You've got to be able to handle the fact that there's beasts warming up around you, and you've got to be able to handle there's really tight competition. There might be really, really long wait periods, and that was the biggest thing with Kate, was that as she was warming up, she was a little bit shaky here and there while she was warming up, but during the snatches, once she hit, she took 55, was a little shaky overhead, and I gave her one cue, and she responded really, really well. She took 65, or 60, 65, 70, and all those, each lift started to get a little bit tighter and tighter as we were progressing up throughout warm-ups. And then when we came out, she smashed 77. We knew what the plan was going to be, and as soon as she took that 77, I realized, like, all right, Kate's grooving. She's in a really, really good spot. She had a little bit of a weight in the back between 77 and 80, but not enough. It was about 4 minutes and 25 seconds. I like to time the period between when they take an attempt and when they go out. So she had about 4.5 minutes, which is right around the point where you want to start doing something, but she was okay. And she's always calm. She's always cool. She just worries about lifting weights. She's not worried about what other people are doing. She's not worried about what's on the bar. She's just worried about lifting. And so 80 came on. She smashed 80, but then we had between 80 and 83, she ended up having about 9 minutes of a wait. And I had asked her, do you want to do a power, do you want to do a full, do you want to pull on something? And she wanted to feel 85. She didn't even know that we were going 83. She just wanted to feel 85. So we took 85 as a pull. And the biggest thing, I think, when you're doing pulls in the back is that you've got to hit it with the same intensity that you would coming off the floor. You got to be really, really tight. You got to have good knee movement. You got to have a really tight back, pull through those heels, and that's where her technique is so good, is she stays flat-footed for so long. So she felt that 85, and she had about 3.5 minutes rest and went and smacked 83. So we knew we were in a really good spot. We knew we needed about a 183 or 185 to make the junior world team, like for sure as a 59. And going into the clean and jerks, I laid out everything, from that perfect perspective of if she can finish at a 104 and come backwards to a 101. And then originally I wanted 97 as a warm-up, as an opener. But as we were warming up, I noticed how she was feeling, and I didn't want to get into this real big jam at 97 because there was 5 people coming out at 97. So we took that and went and said, okay, can we delay the warm-ups just a little bit, bump it back to 98 so that we could slow down the warm-ups and then come out, hit 98, which she smacked, and then ended up resting about another 4.5 minute time frame between her 98 and her 101. 98 to 101 was actually, that was where she had almost a 15-minute rest period. So 98 to 101, we go back in the back. She does a power at 80, and she's never done a power in between in the competition. And I think that's the biggest factor here, is that she wanted to do a power. She felt okay. She knew she had to be tight off the floor, and she'd never done it, but it was such a long wait. She stayed calm, and again, that's the whole key behind being a really elite weightlifter, is you've got to be able to handle that stress. She goes out, 101 looked like trash, but from 101 to 104, she had about a 3.5 minute wait. And when she went out for 104, she had already told me she felt more confident attempting that 104 than she had hitting that 101. And if you watch, you can see, even though she did the power before the 101 sort of had her feel a little bit off. It was a little too light. And then going, the 101 felt heavy, but then she had a nice time frame between the 101 and the 104. She went out, hit that 104 really well. She like triple bounced that 101 and then just smacked the 104, hit a good jerk, and so ends up going 6 for 6, puts up a huge total in her first meet back as a 59, puts up a 187, is like the number 2 girl on the junior world ranking list, and now she's in a really good spot as we head into Romania. So big keys behind having that perfect competition is handle stress, only worry about making lifts. Don't worry about how much, what competitors are doing or whatever else, what's on the bar. Just go out and make that lift. And the biggest key factor is that you've got to be ready to take lifts on the minute. You've got to be ready to take lifts with 5 to 6 minutes rest, and you've got to deal with it, because that's part of the sport. And if you want to be great, that's part of the sport that you've got to be able to handle. Peace.